Co-main event, flyweight bout here. Rose Namajunas coming in at plus 150 in her return fight against Manon Fiorot, who sits at minus 180. Over under 2.5 rounds, minus 200 for the over, plus 165 for the under. As I alluded to, Rose Namajunas coming back after a long layoff. Last time she was out, she lost the belt, pretty much gave out the belts to Carla Esparza. In the strawweight championship, this is her move up to flyweight to 125 from 115. We'll see how she matches up. But she's got her height is 5'5", and going against Manon Fiorot, who's 5'7". Not too big of a reach advantage there for Fiorot, but she does seem to be pretty built for 125. We'll see how Rose Namajunas looks at 125. But she's coming in here off the loss. I mean, it was a really bad look, and everything that has come about after that, as far as in the interviews, she basically said, like, I just didn't really feel like fighting that time, like that night. So it almost seemed like she was like, all right, I'm kind of done with this whole fighting thing. And then she comes back a year later and I guess she's getting back into it and she wants to move up to 125. Maybe that's some sort of new excitement for her to chase something new. And she's getting a tough opponent with Manon Fiorot. I mean, she's getting thrown right into the mix at 125. If Fiorot gets a win here, odds are she could probably get a title shot for the winner of Valentina versus Alexa Grasso. She's 33 years old, obviously from France, and she's going to be having the home crowd behind her. She hasn't lost since her professional debut. She's 10-1. She's on a 10-fight win streak. She's got some really solid wins in the UFC. I mean, Tabitha Ricci, who is a 115er. Mayra Bueno Silva when she was at 125, Jennifer Maia, and then last time out, the number one contender forever, Caitlin Chookagian, she won a decision against her. So she's been off for nearly a year. It's been 10 months for her since her last fight. It's a tough one to digest because you don't know what kind of version of Rose Namajunas you're going to get. But either way, Manon Fiorot pretty damn good. And if there's not a lot of 125ers out there that can beat her, I wonder if Rose can. What are you thinking?
Yeah, here's the way I see it is that, even if Rose shows up with her A game, it's still going to be a tough fight because Manon Fiorot is that good. Like on the feet, Manon Fiorot is, I mean, she just like laps girls with the striking numbers and the volume and the pace. Like you look at some of these numbers she's put up. I mean, against Chookagian was the closest in terms of striking. She landed 98, Chookagian 76. Everybody else, I mean, Jennifer Maia 83-37. Bueno Silva, 91-48. Ricci, 84-17. I mean, it's insane how much volume and the pace she can put on some of these girls. And for Rose, like she's already accomplished everything. She's been the champ. She's knocked out Joanna Jędrzejczyk and knocked out Zhang Weili. Like she has done absolutely everything. And, she's talked about her struggles mentally and, even it showed in the Carla fight. She just didn't want to be there, didn't feel like fighting. Like, how much of that is she still battling? There's so many unknowns with Rose. Like I said, man, she's done everything already. How much longer does she even want to be doing this? So you take that up against a girl like Fiorot, who's going to be locked in, laser focused, and show up like she does time and time again, who's hungry, who wants these title shots. I just think that's a tough spot for Rose, in my opinion, because the style, too. Manon Fiorot is a phenomenal striker, but she'll hit takedowns when she needs to. Like she'll stuff takedowns if you try to take her down. And the longer the fight stays on the feet, you have to knock her out, which doesn't happen really, but that's your only path because she's going to put these insane numbers on you. Like she's always going to outpace girls and land more strikes. And for Rose, man, you look at her last, before Carla, her last loss was Jessica Andrade by KO, and then she turned around and beat her in a split decision. And, we've watched Jessica Andrade lately, and she has not looked good at all. And, she's fighting a girl that close when the fight's primarily on the feet. Makes me think someone like Fiorot is kind of gonna put it on her if she doesn't get knocked out by Rose. So yeah, for the pick, I'm taking Fiorot. I think it's her time. I think she's well deserving of a title shot if she wins here, and I just see that happening. I see her getting the better of Rose on the feet.
Yeah, it's Rose Namajunas. It's crazy to think. I mean, she's the younger fighter here compared to Manon Fiorot, but Rose has been in the thick of it for a very long time. I mean, her first fight in the UFC was for the Ultimate Fighter title, which was like the inaugural strawweight championship for the UFC. So she's been around for a very long time. She's had a number of big fights. This is a big move for Manon Fiorot to be in this spotlight as a co-main event. it's good that she'll have the crowd behind her. But for Rose, it's like she's 31 years old. She could very well come back and, make a run at 125 because she's young enough to be, make another like second career at 125. It very well could be because she's very, very talented, very skilled. You watch her fight. Like I watched the Whaley fight back, the one that actually went the full distance. Like we all know how good Whaley is, and Rose's striking is so accurate and it's so well timed that it makes me, I don't want to say worried, but it makes me understand what she can be like when she's fighting at her full potential. It's just like you don't know what you're going to get from her. So I got to go with Manon Fiorot. Like you said, not younger, but younger in her career as far as what she has to accomplish, and just more hungry. She's looks really good. She's passed all the tests. Like she hasn't really looked bad in any of her fights. In her UFC fights, she's only looked really good. So I got to ride the wave with her coming in here against Rose Namajunas. And it's probably somewhat of a big spot for her to be like, okay, Rose is somewhat of a legend in, women's MMA. So she's getting a big name. There's a lot of motivation there for her. I'm going to take her. And I would probably say she gets it done by decision.